Hey folks, this is the Simplistic Seth, and today I have another video for you guys. Now, if you haven't noticed by the title, yes, it's one of those videos again, since it's one of my very narrow interests, but what the hell, I should make another video. So as you can probably see, I reshelved all the things. The DVDs used to be on the top shelf, and I switched it with the books, so now all my DVDs are alphabetized there. So, today I wanted to talk about something that everyone knows about, everyone likes, and everyone hates those direct-to-DVD movies, and that is, once again, the American Pie series. Now, as you could probably tell, I'm a fan of the 4 movies, the first, second, third, and fourth one. Let me just get those. Here's my quadrilogy that I have. As you can see, I'm a big fan. Oh wait, yeah, that was upside down for a second. Well, if you put them in order, it's more like this is in chronological order. So these are the 4 movies. See, I have first one, second one, Wedding, and the newest one, American Reunion. Now, as you could probably tell, I'm a big fan of the series, and I'm gonna do kind of like an analyzation. I hope I said that right correctly. Where I'm going to analyze each movie and talk to you about the ratio between dialogue and actual nudity. Now, although a lot of the themes for these movies are based around sex, sorry about that, I dropped one of the DVDs. Although the movies are typically based around sex as far as the plot and dialogue goes, there's really more sexual dialogue than actual nudity. Let me give an example. I will, just give me a second. So I still count the American Reunion to be the 4th one. The spinoffs do not count since it doesn't have any of the original actors, unless you count the guy that plays Sherman, Chris Owen, and the dad, Noah Levinstein, who's played by Eugene Levy. But that those 4 movies, the spinoffs, don't count, in my opinion. With that being said, let me move on to what I was actually making a point about. So the first movie, I have the unrated versions in case you haven't noticed, but the 3rd and 4th movie give you both, both the unrated and theatrical version. Anyways, this is the first American Pie movie I have, and it's unrated. Now, unrated doesn't mean that it's worse or more dirty. It just means that they tweak a few scenes and they make it look as if it's unrated. So, unrated version. I'm picking this up again. More dialogue or more sex? Honestly, more dialogue. Probably about 85 to 90% of the movie is sexual dialogue and 5 to 10% is sex. Now, there isn't any hardcore sex in any of these movies, but there's a lot of implied sex. For example, when Finch and Stifler's mom have sex, you could hear them moaning off screen, but it doesn't actually show it. The infamous pie scene, where Jim gets caught humping the pie, it doesn't actually show his genitals. The only actual part of nudity in that movie is the part, the part where Nadia gets naked and topless. And even that is basically the only scene of actual nudity. And yes, we all know about towards the end where it implies that Heather and Oz have sex, and where it implies that Vicky and Kevin have sex, and then Michelle is clothed sex with Jim, but that part is before they actually have it. And then with Kevin and Vicky and Oz and Heather, they're under the covers, so you don't actually see anything happening. So there's really no actual nudity. And like I said, unrated version, they just tweak a few scenes, like the pie humping scene, for example. In the theatrical version, Jim was leaning against the counter humping it, whereas in the unrated version, he's lying on top of the counter humping it. Okay, second one, American Pie 2. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking I have like a professor-like knowledge on these movies, and you are correct as far as that. Asperger's syndrome kicking in with my narrow interests. Anyways, the second movie, American Pie 2, The only big scene of nudity, if you actually think about it, is the part where the two alleged lesbian chicks go topless, and it shows, you know, their butt and their boobs, and the one with the bigger boobs is hotter. I think it was Danielle, and the other one's Amber. Whatever. That's the only scene of actual nudity, and due to screencasting, I learned this on IMDb. When Adam Hers wrote the script for the second one, he contradicted whether or not to write a naked scene with Nadia in it, but Shannon Elizabeth declined to make another nude performance. Although her boobs did get, you know, a little bit bigger in this movie. So American Pie 2, there weren't that many scenes that were tweaked. You know, a couple different angles, but that's about it. So yeah, this is the unrated version. As far as sex scenes, like I said, the only nudity is the lesbian scenes part, and there's no actual showing of genitals, like the part where Jim superglues his hand to his penis. It doesn't actually show his penis, but you know, you know what's actually happening there. Yeah, so this is the second movie, and not really much nudity, not as, like I said, there's not really that much nudity, but there are, like I said, a lot of implied sex and dialogue. Like, once again, Finch and Stifler's mom, you hear the car rocking, but they don't actually show it happening. Or, you know, the next day, at the very end of the movie, where it shows everyone the morning after the party, and they're all laying under the covers, but it doesn't actually show anything occurring. Or the part where Heather and Oz have phone sex, it doesn't actually show, you know, Oz's dong or Heather's flat-chested self or any of that, so a lot of implied sex. Oh, okay, the third one, which only has half of the original cast in it, but still a good movie. I like this one better than the second one. Although the first one will always be my favorite, American Pie. Even though the fourth one, which I will be getting to in a few minutes, is almost as good as American Pie, the first one. So, American Wedding. What scenes of nudity are actually in this movie? Well, if you actually think about it and give it some thought and watch it a few times like I have, the only actual scenes of nudity are the bachelor party, where the really hot cop lady with the big boobs comes in, and then the maid shows off her butt and her small boobs, or tits, or whatever you want to call it. And then, of course, a lot of dialogue, and implied sex. You know, obviously the scene where Stifler has sex with Jim's grandma, although it doesn't actually show her boobs, thank God. And, oh, and the part where Stifler's mom's in the bubble bath, or Janine if you want to refer to her by her real name, with Finch, but doesn't actually show her boobs. So yeah, like I said, implied sex, the only scene of actual nudity. So you get what I'm saying with this pattern, is that they don't actually show that much nudity, it's more dialogue and the plot, what's revolving around. Okay. Last but definitely not last but definitely not least, American Reunion. Now, this movie is probably the reason why I found out what Jim's dad's name is. The part where he's drinking, he says his name's Noah. Although Adam Hers, who was the original writer of the previous 3 movies, wanted it to be Bullwinkle, but I can't see Jim's dad as a Bullwinkle. He's more of a Noah. Anyways, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any big nudity scenes in this one, because I do know that there was a lot of, you know, dialogue. Actually, yeah. Okay, so the part where the guy that Jim used to babysit gets naked, you see her topless, Kara. That's a scene of nudity, and then Oz's girlfriend, who he eventually breaks up with, covers her boobs because Kara's boyfriend and their friends steal all the girls' bras. So yeah, there's a lot more nudity in this one out of all the American Pies. And of course there's male genitalia. You actually get to see Jason Biggs' penis. because it was implied that his penis was out in the first one. But yeah, you actually get to see his dick in this one, which is, I guess, awkward for a viewer like myself, since I'm a straight male. Nothing too big. Like I said, implied sex. There's a part where Jim dresses up like an S&M thing, which that stuff freaks me out. I mean, besides that, there's not really that much stuff. Like I said, there's parts of boobs and then Jason Biggs' penis, and that's about it. But, like I said, most of it is dialogue. Oh, and for the very ending, you know, during the credits, it implies, I keep saying the word imply, but that's how it is, it implies that Jim's dad is getting a blowjob from Stifler's mom, or Janine, whatever you want to call it. Also, there's implied oral sex. You know, Stifler goes down on Lonnie, just like in the first one, how it implies both cunnilingus and fellatio between Kevin and Vicky in the first one. So, yeah, this is a pretty good movie. If you are an American Pie fan like myself or not, and you want to know what the two best ones are, just stick with these two. Sure, the second and third one are pretty good, but if you want really good ones, then American Pie and American Reunion. Although American Pie was not written by the same guy that originally wrote the movies, Adam Hurst. In fact, Adam Hurst wrote all the main original American Pie movies except for American Reunion, and Adam Hurst was actually very honored for Hayden Schoesberg, whatever his name is, and John Hurwitz to actually write the movie and direct it. In fact, Adam Hurst gave them more than just permission on it and wanted to be the executive producer of it. So, basically, that's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to go over this and explain my knowledge about it. I know I went into detail a little bit in my other video, which is My Name is Seth and I Love American Pie, but this is the list for you guys, so you guys could I could recommend these movies to you guys. You can watch it. Don't watch those stupid spin-offs. I watched American Pie Presents Band Camp and then parts of the Beta House one. Those suck a donkey's dick, okay? You want to watch the main ones that have the good characters, good storyline, great dialogue. In fact, I've memorized more than half the dialogue in this film, if not almost all of it. You could ask any of my friends. I've reenacted many scenes from this, so that's basically all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any requests, please let me know. Holy shit, I've gained 4 subscribers just from my last video, which is pretty sweet, so keep them coming, and yeah, I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. You do make a big difference in my life as a YouTuber. Have a good day, everyone.